My Friday night movie recommendation is The Curse of the Werewolf. Came out in 1961 and was directed by Terrence, um, checking my notes, Terrence Fisher. Okay, here's the mood. 1961 politically was a bit of an upheaval year. The U.S. had severed its ties with Cuba, and so as that president left, JFK came in. JFK then had to deal with the whole Cuban Missile Crisis, the Bay of Pigs. Oh my God. It was just, it's history book times for you if you haven't had a chance. It's a bit of a tumultuous year, 1961. On the plus side, Tossing and Turning was the number one song. And the Breakfast at Tiffany's came out into the theaters, as well as this wonderful gem. We also had on TV premiering the Dick Van Dyke Show, the Yogi Bear Show, and Mr. Ed. Again, if you're young and you haven't heard of Mr. Ed, you don't know who Mr. Ed who is or whatever, what you probably heard a reference to Mr. Ed. Okay, I can only do so much to raise your cultural awareness. But so here's why Curse of the Werewolf will be a fun film. Like many Hammer productions, they took a movie that had only been done in black and white, or a theme rather, and that being werewolves. Before they had done a mummy, and they did vampires, and they brought them forward into living color. Why people hadn't been doing horror movies and things in color at that? Well, it just hadn't been available. So, anyway, this was the very first werewolf movie in color. And it's less about getting bitten by a werewolf than actually being a curse. Thus, the curse of the werewolf. Oliver Reed does a wonderful job in this film. When I watched this as a kid, his career was really launching, and so I became a big Oliver Reed fan, probably because of this film. You gotta keep in mind, when I saw this film as a kid, I was part of that transition from black and white to color. Yes, color movies had been around for a while, but black and white televisions were the norm. They didn't start broadcasting in color until right about then. And so you had about mid-60s or so. So to see, when my family finally got a color television, it was a big deal. We weren't the first ones on the block to get a color set by any means. This is still back in the day when you had to, take the tubes in from the back of the TV, take them to the store, put them on the shelf at the store to test if they worked or not, and then buy a new one and take it home and plug it in and hope that that solved the problem. So, to see on the screen a werewolf in full color with the red blood coming off the teeth and the eyes, well, that was just superb. Now, seeing something in color may not seem like such a big deal to you, and perhaps the film isn't as strong as other werewolf movies of the day, but this werewolf movie is often referenced in other werewolf movies. In The Howling, the characters in the film were named after the directors of this movie. In American Werewolf in London, they were talking about, hey, have you ever seen The Wolfman? He said, oh, is that the one that had Oliver Reed? So it's something that got rolled into the culture. Anyway, I always enjoy watching this film. I believe it's a fun film. It's a fun werewolf film to watch. I think you should take a look at it. It's like watching an old DC comic about werewolves. It just has a good ring and tone to it. What can I say? I'm just a fan. Anyway, so that's my Friday night movie of recommendation of the week. Watch The Curse of the Werewolf with now Oliver Reed. Oh my God, I was blanking. I was kind of going and thinking the guy from Oliver. No, yeah. It's anyway. And if you haven't seen some of his other films, check them out. Like I said, big Oliver Reed fan. He did a lot of sci-fi stuff. Oh, you should see him in Burnt Offerings. Just another great horror film. Might do that as a recommendation in the future. Anyway, thanks